having each week here, but with a twist this week, as the author of the book himself is going to be with us live in studio to tell us all about it. That is Mr. Joe Rossiter. And then we will also have our next Destination Abroad piece on the way, where we'll be taking you somewhere that involved a lot of pizza and a lot of pasta.
From sun-soaked romances to gripping crime, the travel show Top Holiday Reads on KCLR.
And now this week for our top holiday read recommendation, we're doing things a little bit differently. Usually we have someone come in and tell us about a book that they have read that they would recommend for you to take some time to look at on your holidays or your travels. But this week, I have the author himself in studio with me to tell us all about his own book, which we would recommend you pick up to read on your next holiday. Joe Rossiter, you're very welcome to the Travel Show.
Thank you very much.
It is an absolute pleasure to have you here and a wonderful surprise. So this week, instead of asking you about a book that you have read, we are asking you about a book that you have written, and that is called Spained.
That's right.
Okay.
It's a book based in Madrid, and there's a little bit of Toledo and Marbella in it as well that people would probably know well.
Yes, Marbella I've been to.
Yeah, it's basically it's a very straightforward story about an expat, an Irish expat who's been living in Spain for a number of years and is trying to decide whether to settle down and stay there or what he's going to do. And there's a couple of characters come into his life, a couple of an ex and a kind of a on-off girlfriend, and mess things up for him. And he has to decide what's the right thing to do and how's he going to go about it. But it all happens within a week, and it's a hedonistic kind of week in Madrid in the late 90s.
Okay, brilliant. Do you know what? I love nothing more than a love story. I've said this here before. Like typically, I find it hard to get really into a book unless there is a love story involved, and this is a bit of a love triangle.
Well, yeah, I hate the phrase love triangle, but there is a love triangle. Unfortunately, it's a mess. And what happened was he doesn't even know that the love of his life is not very far away at all, and she shows up at the wrong time, and and it creates havoc in his life. But then you have to find out over the next few days what he's going to do to sort it all out.
And it all takes place within a week.
All within a week, and it's kind of timed. You have like in the middle of the day or whatever. So it's I think you're based over 7 days, and it's different time of the day, so you know what's going on. And there's other characters. There's even a little bit of bullfighting in there, tiny bit of bullfighting. I know that's kind of not a cool thing these days, but there is a bullfighter in the story,
Spain,
and that's part of the love interest as well. It's there's a lot going on, but also what I think it is that it's the real Spain. It's not your holiday destinations that's it. It's kind of gritty, and it's the characters in it. They're not well off or anything like that. It's kind of it's not a poor man's Spain, but it's definitely a backstreet Spain, and something that's, I think it's a fresh way for you to have a holiday read, if you like.
Joe, it sounds brilliant. What was the inspiration for the book?
Oh, well, to be fair, I lived in Madrid for a couple of years at the end of the
Very
90s,
good.
and my partner is half Spanish, and we've been to Spain on and off pretty much, I think, 25 times in the last 30 years or so.
Lucky.
But initially I was in Madrid on my own, and and the characters I met there, I was teaching English as a foreign language, and the characters I met, the people that come from all over the world to teach English and stuff like that, they're crazy. And what I try to do is try to get some of those into the story, or their best bits or worst bits, or their worst traits or whatever, and they're in the story. And it's kind of it's a poor man's sort of way of getting around Madrid, but these people kind of really liven it up, and it made me fall in love with Spain. And then when I came back, you can't keep me away from Spain. I'm there every year since.
That's so lovely. Joe, it sounds like such a brilliant storyline, and so lovely that it's kind of inspired by your experiences in Spain and your dealings with Spanish people as well.
Mm-hmm.
If people do want to pick up this book called Spained by yourself, Joe Rossiter, where could they pick up a copy?
Well, they can get it on Hibernia.com. That's Ybernia, which is the Viking word for Hibernia, the traditional sort of way of naming Ireland. Hibernia.com. They can get it in Hub 16 in New Ross, and you can also get it on Spanish Amazon, so Amazon.es.
Fantastic. Spanish Amazon. I love it. Joe Rossiter, author of Spained. It has been an absolute delight and pleasure to have you in here in studio today telling us about your book, Spained, as the top holiday read recommendation for this week. I wish you all the best with the book and its sales over the coming weeks, and I must pick up a copy for myself.
Really appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Thanks so much, Joe.